in Jannita's weekly videos. Thank you for watching this far. No, I'm kidding. For this week, you are very, very lucky. We are talking about 3 of Silky's most different saws that you may have never seen before.
They're really, really cool, but for some reason, they're saws that we don't hear a lot about. They're kind of like the forgotten heroes in a way, but they're super cool and you really want one.
Yes, they're your much larger swords as well, so it's not particular your gentle.
The beastie ones.
Yes. So starting off, Jannita will talk about her little.
Well, it's not little, it's big, but it's pretty cool.
Let me rephrase that one. No, don't have time.
So, the Zoran is what I'm going to be talking about.
Ooh, lucky Zoran.
So we've got this amazing wall behind us here, which has got a lot of Silky's fixed saws on it. They do a few other ones than what we have here, but this is sort of gives you an idea of the range of the fixed saws. But the Zoran here is just such a beast, and possibly the reason you may not have actually seen the Zoran is because you actually require a little bit of skill to use it. So it's not for your light-hearted, it's not for somebody who's using a Silky saw for the first time. This requires somebody that knows it's a pull cut. It requires somebody that knows you do not put pressure on the teeth initially. So there's a bit of a technique to using it, but once you get that technique, oh my goodness, you're like the shredder. This thing is amazing and will clear a log in seconds. Well, yeah, it will. It's pretty amazing.
Countlessly.
Yeah. So the Zoran comes in 2 blade length options. This one here is your 370, so this is the longest. Then it also comes in a 340 as well. That's millimeter long blade. I said to somebody that in centimeters the other day, and they're like, "Whoa, that's amazing!" I'm like, "Yeah, it is." They were really like getting excited. And then I went, "Wait a minute, what did I just say?" No, backtrack. So 370 millimeter long blade. The teeth on it is what's quite unique with the Zoran. It has what they call a 4 retsumi teeth. So it's a design teeth that Silky have made that is actually, if you look down the length of this blade, it's like you've got 4 rows of teeth. So it's not just that 1 row or the 2 sort of wedge shape. It's literally 4 different angles of teeth that are on this saw. So when you drag it through a piece of wood, you're digging out a huge amount of fibre, but super, super quick, super aggressive. So this is not what you want on your delicate fruit trees or anything like that. This is for your serious log clearing, serious cutting up big limbs.
Get in, get out type of job.
Yeah. The other cool thing with it, it's got quite an unusual angle. So the blade itself is straight, but then on this angle where it comes into the handle, it kind of does a bit of a curve around, and it is full tang, so it does go all the way through. And if you flip it over, this here is actually the screw that holds that blade in place. So pretty easy and quick to replace the blade.
You go with that one.
You can replace the screw too, it's very easy. But it's the blade's probably what you want to be replacing. So you just twirl that basically, it comes out, slide the blade out, put a new one in, and put it back in place. Now, talking about replacing blades with a saw like Zoran here, you shouldn't need to be replacing them very often because you can sharpen the teeth on this one. So very, very versatile, great to take with you when you're going off-road, because if you did, cut something with a dirty material, that takes the edge off teeth sometimes, but it means you can give it a touch up while you're out on the job or on your holiday or whatever it is you're on. With the shape of the handle of the blade, though, I was talking about just before, it's quite cool because it allows you to comfortably have 2 hands on that handle, and that could be handy because somebody like me who isn't super strong, if I am wanting to tackle a really big limb, I fatigue quite quickly with the one arm, so it feels more comfortable to put 2 arms on. Whether it's more efficient or not, who knows, but it just feels that way. So I kind of like want to put another hand on. So if there's no space, that makes it really difficult, but this has got plenty of space, quite comfortable, and a nice angle to actually use that on. So a really, really cool saw, super aggressive, but like everything Silky does, beautiful. And again, the case it comes in, also really nice, tucks in really nicely, and comes with an optional belt strap. So not a belt strap made for a particularly large person, but for your average person, it works really well. So that is the Zoran.
So my favourite hand saw in the Silky range is the Mazari. You may or may not have seen it before. It is an absolute beaut. So it has the same style as teeth as what Jannita was mentioning before, the 4 retsumi. However, it does have smaller teeth on it as well, so it is a much easier saw to use. Same alternative to a small chainsaw as well. So, did you want to say something?
I was just going to say, she could tell, she'd tell her on the button.
You breathed.
No, I was just going to say, Shenae's dead right there. It's the exact same style of tooth as the Zoran, but because it's just that little bit smaller, it really is much easier to use. So a novice that's never used a Silky before is going to find this actually quite easy to use, even though it's got that aggressive tooth. So yeah, fantastic saw, really, really good for sort of entry point, or yeah, just a great clearing saw really, and easier than the Zoran, but you know, Zoran's still fantastic.
Still there. The Zoran does come in a bigger blade size, so if you are wanting to cut the bigger logs.
Yeah, it's just the meatier version, but you need a bit of skill.
The big brother with skill. It's the same as the Zoran and all the other Silky hand saws as well. It has a full tang blade, which means the blade goes straight into the handle as well. It has a metal screw, so it makes it nice and strong to hold the handle and the blade together, so it won't break.
Easily.
Anything's possible, guys. It does have a thicker blade as well for it to be stronger and more efficient in more difficult aspects towards your other branches that you are cutting.
Yeah, it just gives it a bit of strength really, doesn't it?
Yeah. So it's a nice saw, same special gone rubber handle, and you can either hold it with one or two hands. So you are out for driving as well, and you do have come across a fallen log, or there is a log that is not needs to be clearing, that you just want to get the job done and dust it out of the way so you can have more fun. You'll have even more fun with this saw.
It's packed full of fun.
It's fun in the saw. But yeah, so it's just great for clearing those larger logs away. It's fast, it's efficient. It will get the job done and dusted within no time. Also, speaking of fast and efficient, arborist. I know sometimes you need just to get the job done quickly and you aren't too concerned about what style of cut that you leave on the branch as well. So the Mazari is another alternative to that, alternative to a small chainsaw. Say if you have, say the boys and fill up the chainsaws the evening before, or you want
it just stopped working for some reason, but you're like 3/4 of the way through the job.
Yeah, so you can quickly just pull this little boy out and then away you go. Also as well, if you are working in an area that has noise restrictions, or you are wanting to start a little bit earlier because you have a big day ahead of you, you can start with the Mazari just to get those few larger limbs out of the way, and then you can move on to the chainsaw, or you can use the Mazari the whole time.
So this is the Katanasami. Again, in the family of the big saws, for the other two saws we've shown you, the Zoran and the Mazari. The Katanasami is basically, you'd be buying for the same purpose, except the Katanasami has a different style tooth. So it makes it just a tiny bit slower in cutting than the Mazari and the Zoran, but it makes it a bit easier. So if you perhaps don't want to put quite as much energy into the cut, then the Katanasami
might. Jannita? No.
Yeah, pretty much. Mind you, in saying that, I do love the Mazari that Shenae just had. Again, it's hard not to love that saw once you try it. It's easy to use, but it still feels so meaty. So it is kind of one of those ones. I've got it at home in the garage, and yeah, I do use it because I love that one. It is brilliant. But speed, we talk Zoran. So if speed is your number one thing for big logs, then the Zoran is the way you want to go, if you have the patience to learn how to use it. If you don't, then you want to go Mazari or the Katanasami. So the reason you might go the Katanasami is it is a little bit faster because the blade is longer. It's a 375 millimeter long blade. The Mazari comes in a 330 and a 360. So you've got 15 more millimeters with this one than you do with the Mazari. So the longer the blade, basically, that impacts the speed, because in one stroke you've got more teeth going through the timber. So nice long blade, non-set tooth, which makes it much easier to use but a little bit slower. So apples for apples, you probably are at the same speed as the Mazari, because the Mazari does have that aggressive tooth, but this is a bit easier to use. The other thing is the Katanasami is a little bit heavier, so it's a heavier saw, which isn't as great if you're hiking because you've got that extra weight, so the Mazari might be the way you want to go. But if you're just four-wheel driving or you're a tree lopper, arborist, and you want this in the truck as a backup chainsaw, then the weight's not really a problem. So then this is a good option for you. Differences really with this saw over the last two is really just that tooth style. Again, you can sharpen this one like you can the other two saws. You would use the same diamond shaped file to do that. They all have the same chrome plating. Slightly different scabbard with each of the saws. This one here, as I mentioned in the back, or did I mention it? Don't know. I'm losing my mind now. But there is a belt strap like there is with the Zoran, with the Katanasami. So as long as you haven't had too many beers, it should fit you no problems. If you have, you might have to get another belt. And the belt would go through these loops here. Now you can also get leg straps, and that's why you'll notice there's loops both at the top and the bottom. So you can attach this either to the top of your leg or at the base, sort of where you would a diving knife. This is quite long though, so I'm not quite sure, you'd have to be pretty tall for it to comfortably fit at that lower part of the leg, but that's what those two loops are for. So really cool hand saws. A lot of people sort of think, oh, folding saws are the neatest because they've got all these gadgets, but Silky's fixed saws are really, really cool because the cases are really neat. They look really quite unique and
they still have all the bells and whistles as well as your folding saw as well, except
that's right, except it's fixed and stronger, so you get the strength.
And plus you can't, besides the katana boy, and you can't get that
that's right, so unless you go to the lengths of the katana boy, you can't get those lengths. That's right. So great saw, the Katanasami, the Zoran and the Mazari. If you're after an alternative to a small chainsaw, you want a beefy, meaty saw, you want to come and see this team and pick yourself a Katanasami, a Zoran or a Mazari.
Pick your weapon of choice, basically.
Yeah, that's it. Which weapon of choice will you have? Now, I think we forgot to ask our little...
Yes, so we have a question that we would love just to hear one or two words on in our comment section, and it's just basically, we are just basically asking if you do cut big limbs and trees, what is it and how big is it as well, so we can get a better idea, so we can help you and assist you in choosing the best saw for that job if you don't already have it.
Yeah, so we're just sort of trying to figure out from our viewers what you're doing so that we can talk about the right products that suit you.
Yeah.
So are you four-wheel driving? Do you have acreage and you are wanting an alternative to a chainsaw, or are you really just cutting limbs the size of our arms off trees? So just, throw in the comments, I cut big stuff, I cut small stuff, I go four-wheel driving and cut big limbs. I don't know, something quick and easy, but just to give us a bit of a heads up as to what we should talk about next week.
Well, that's all from us, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you maybe, hopefully, next week.
Thanks for watching, and thanks for your help in the comments.
Bye.
Bye.